There have been more calls for the sexual abuse suffered by boys at a care home in East Belfast to be included in the independent investigations into historical abuse ordered by the Home Secretary. Theresa May says the review and inquiry will provide maximum transparency, including access to sensitive government files. The Kincora boys' home closed in 1980 and 3 members of staff were convicted for abuse. But allegations of involvement by the security services in covering up what went on there have continued. Ewan McConville reports.
This is the former Kincora boys' home on Newton Arts Road in East Belfast. In the early 80s, it was at the centre of a scandal which dated back years and rocked the political landscape in Northern Ireland. 3 care workers at the home, including this man, William McGrath, were convicted of abusing boys. A leading Orange man with links to political unionism and loyalist paramilitaries. He allegedly also had links to the security services. Chris Moores, the journalist who investigated events at Kincora.
The first police investigation was blocked by MI5. MI5 had an interest here, and the interest was their agent, William McGrath. They stopped British Army intelligence from reporting these matters to the police for investigation, and so young men in this hostel were brutalised and raped and abused, whilst MI5 sat on their hands and allowed it to go on.
More than 30 years on, Kincora remains a scandal that persists. It will be examined by the Historical Institutional Abuse Inquiry set up by the Assembly.
We welcome the inquiry by the Historic Institutional Abuse Inquiry established by the Assembly, but unfortunately it simply does not have the powers to reach into Whitehall departments and Secret Service files in the way that the inquiry announced by Theresa May yesterday will have. She said that it will be able to access whatever and wherever it needs to go, and if necessary she'll give it the statutory powers to make sure it can do. That's what we need to get to the bottom of this Kincora business.
The Home Secretary Theresa May has effectively launched 2 investigations. The first will be a review of how police and prosecutors dealt with allegations of child sex abuse. The other will be an in-depth inquiry, but both are at an early stage and it's unclear as to whether the abuse here at the former home at Kincora will actually feature. Ewan McConville, BBC Newsline, East Belfast.
As Ewan said there, the Kincora home was in East Belfast, and the constituency's MP has also called for any inquiry or review ordered by Westminster to include the home.
I believe that it is important that that is properly investigated and thoroughly investigated, and even the destruction of records in itself could point to whether or not there is substance to those allegations. So I think by including it in this inquiry we create some clarity around the situation, but we also give the opportunity for the victims of Kincora to talk openly and freshly about what has happened to them.